Hey everybody, you're gonna see 3 videos up next, and the 3 videos I'm going to be reviewing Resident Evil. This one I'll do the Resident Evil 6 demo, the next one will be Resident Evil Damnation, the next one will be Resident Evil Retribution. So, starting this one. Resident Evil 6 demo. My first impressions were like, ah! When I played the Leon campaign, I was thinking, you know, it's just Resident Evil, 5 or Resident Evil 4, it's just gonna be a little scary. Oh no, I loved it. Leon's campaign by far, and everybody's been saying this, is the best campaign. And at first I was like, okay. But I used to think, man, you're overusing Leon. He's in everything. But I've grown very fond of him. I'm like, you know what, man? Chris survived a mansion underground, that's cool. Leon was in the city. Several story police station, the basement, underground, the underground lab, the train. Okay. I give you respect, Leon. Oh, and you took the entire Spaniard village, and a castle, and a lab, and an island. Okay. That's cool. You got my respect. Leon brings very much horror and scariness in his campaign. His partner, Helena Harper, she seems nice. I'm kind of interested to see her story and all the stuff that she is on. And you're at the university. You just shot the president, but it jumps. So I don't know what mission this actually is, but it's towards the beginning. You can walk and shoot. I thought that was one of the best, but I didn't use it that much. And when I did, I was actually walking backwards. And the dodge mechanic is so fun because you can like dodge and dive and dodge and duck. And one of my favorite things is like after I roll, you come up and you're still on the ground, so you can crawl backwards. So you're like, I played it like the 5th time. I just crawled the whole time. I was like, and you can do that. That's the best part. Leon has this little special ability. He's like, oh, there's a lot of zombies. I've got a second handgun. Cool. Oh man, Steve has nothing on you. Steve was like, hey, I've got 2 guns. Pew pew. Leon's like, oh yeah? I have muscles. And I'm alive. His campaign actually did kind of spook me. Because, there's just something about playing a game with the lights off. And for the first time. And you don't have any guns. You still have a partner. It's still scary. Like, I was so kind of... the first time I was walking, and the guy I was playing with, he goes, come on! Come on! Come on! But actually, I did find a pretty cool guy, and, we're gaming it up now, and we're probably gonna, bro. I love Leon's campaign. I want to see that grow and sparkle, so Leon's campaign gets an A. Next was Jake's. I just had to see Wesker's kid. Like, what woman would lie with, unless, he was one of those test tube babies, but he's not. Because he was saying, yeah, my mom, I gotta get money for her, so that's why I'm a mercenary. Why can't you just work at a, business, wear your little tie? But, he likes killing. He's good at killing. And then you have little Sherry, which I thought was the most ironic thing in a Resident Evil universe. Like, the son of William Birkin and the son of Albert Wesker. His daddy killed her daddy, and now they're friends. So that was funny. Sherry is no longer useless. Like, that little girl that just did this, as you're playing her, she's like, zombies! Oh my god. Nobody can be useless as Ashley. She was still right next to you the whole time, but the whole time she's like, help, shut the pff. Sherry didn't say anything. And if she did, it was in a cutscene, so, it wasn't all the time. And half the time, she was lost. So you're like, where's Sherry? Instead, Sherry's like, oh, I'm an agent. You're like, Oh, oh yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a good day. And Jake, he looks just like his old poppy, except, you know, buzz cut. Yeah, I think he had orange or red hair or something. I wasn't paying that much attention. His demo, or his little campaign, I'm looking forward to, because honestly, that's probably going to scare me more than any of the campaigns, because Resident Evil 3, in my opinion, was the scariest of all of them. I mean, Resident Evil 2 was pretty scary, but the story was just amazing. And needless to say that there's like 4 different types of versions of that game. You know, you got Leon A, Leon B, Claire A, Claire B. Which one do I play first? One day I played all 4 of them and I was like, oh my god. But Resident Evil 3 actually scared me because, you know, and on easy mode you have like every gun under, you know, God's green earth. But Nemesis is just a terrible person. You know, you're like, oh man, these zombies aren't worth stars. Oh. And, you know, rocket. And it was scary. You know, around every corner you're thinking, zombies? Oh, it's just zombies. Stars. Oh! Instead we have Ustanak. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know. But he's this big old guy and he's got like this mechanical claw. So I'm like, it's like a tyrant. And Nemesis had a baby. And Dr. Octopus. I'm just going to throw that one in there and everybody's like, what? But you don't really get to see Ustanak in the demo. You know, you've seen him in the videos. But his campaign actually did kind of, you know, challenge me a little bit, because when the monsters die, they go into like a cocoon or a chrysalis. And then they come out of this cocoon or chrysalis as like the most evilest butterfly, lizard, iguana thing that shoots thorns that I've ever seen. And it was kind of tough. You know, when I played the first time, I ended up playing as Sherry. And I was like, I've got a gun. What has Jake got? Oh, let's see, I've got a handgun, a magnum, a sniper, and a machine gun, and a Mitch. That's not fair. You know, Sherry's got a couple. But, you know, I was, like, going against the just, you know, Chavero or whatever they're called. Sorry if I had pronounced it wrong. Javero? I don't know. They're gonna die anyway, so I mean, why would I care about their name? So I'm just shooting these guys like, goo, goo. Jake, you know, the guy I was playing, Jake, he's got a sniper and he's like taking out the iguana lizard things, and which was tough. You know, he had, you know, he did his little tuck roll and used the magnum, and they're like, dead. I'm like, yes. And his campaign was actually, it felt shorter. But I'm kind of glad it cut off when it did, because when it did cut off, there's this thing falling from this train, and you're thinking, oh, there must be another character over there in the same timeline, because don't forget, these are 3 different campaigns, and like I'm hearing that they're like whole game lengths. So you're thinking that's gonna be fun. So, you know, whoever killed this thing jumps down and he starts coming up, in his arms a chainsaw, and he's like, "Grr." I'm like, oh god, coming October 2nd. Oh, thank god. I was not prepared for that because I had no ammo. I was like, yeah, Jake, I've got my fist. Oh, that's good. Okay. So, luckily for that. I'm kind of excited about Jake's. Chris. Oh, give Jake's, an A. Chris's campaign. I've heard so many people say it's Call of Duty in a third-person mode. And I was like, well, you can't dive, dodge, duck, dodge, dive, duck, whatever. It kind of did, actually, but it wasn't like Call of Duty. It just had that feeling of action and action and action, and then I ran around a corner and rested a little bit, and then action. But there was monsters involved, and there's one very big monster, which was like, here's the El Giante, and then there's the Resident Evil 5 building, and then there's this thing. I'm like, oh my god! Just shoot, of course, you know, shoot the thing in his back. So I was like, you know, still didn't work. So, you know, we're running like, shit! And finally this tank comes out and goes, hey, Captain, I got it. We'll start off with Pierce. I've actually wanted to play Pierce ever since I saw him. I was like, that looks like a guy who, he's new to the universe and he might go far. Sheva, you're thinking, I don't see that going anywhere. And I mean, that's probably gonna sound racist, but I don't know. There was something about it that I just didn't want. I mean, it was also because I very rarely went on Xbox Live when I had Resident Evil 5. Like, I taught my grandma to play Xbox Live, so she would end up being Sheva, and so maybe that's where I was wrong. But when she was an NPC, oh my god, just stop taking all the stuff. Oh my god, stop being stupid. The NPCs, and this goes for all the campaigns in Resident Evil 6, they're not useless. I mean, they're like, hey, what do you need me to do? You want to check out that building? You got it! Thank you. And they actually attack enemies. They're just not like, are you going to take care of it? Like, oh, I've got this, bro. I was going to get him. I'm not going to complain, though. Because now it's like, yeah, more ammo for me. But Pierce, he's a pretty cool cat. Starts out with a machine gun. You can go single shot and semi-auto, so I didn't know this. I was like, this is going to suck. Oh, I love it. And I've read his description, he is known as the guy who never misses. Well, that's obvious when you have like a giant 50 caliber gun that's bigger than you. You're aiming over here, the guy's over here. Yep. So I was using a sniper a lot. Probably play as Pierce a lot. We're back to Chris. Love Chris. Very first character I played in the entire Resident Evil. That's not true. Played Resident Evil 2 first because this was when I was young and didn't realize 2 comes after 1. I was like, there's a Resident Evil 1? But, technically, yes, Chris is the very first. I don't feel like we see enough of Chris. True, he was in Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 3's Epilogue, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Resident Evil Dark Side, and, okay, we see Chris a lot, but, I miss the old Chris, when he had the spiky hair and the knife, and he was like, alright guys, teamwork. Now he's this giant tank from Left 4 Dead, he's not really in there as much, and he's just depressing. Like, he's like, tickle me emo. I mean, I'm like, the whole time I'm playing him, I was like, is there like a suicide button? This is depressing, man. Oh, there's Jill. Oh, okay, that's good. I don't think he's really as depressed in this one. He has amnesia, so it's not his fault now. It's not post-traumatic stress that he caused upon him. Amnesia, I'm sure, he was like, alright guys, we're gonna do... I don't remember a thing. I'll be an alcoholic in some place. Awesome, Chris. So the opening cutscene, there's this guy dead, and Chris is doing his motivational speech. He goes, "Hey everybody, we got to do teamwork. I'm not gonna have lone wolf work." And everybody's like, "You got it." And they talk to the new guy, and he's like, "Is Chris always this awesome?" Chris is toned down. Like, his muscles aren't like a small infant, like But the best part, like, one of his moves, like, this guy's dead, he picks him up and just slams him into the ground. I was like, man, I want to pick up full-grown man. And I saw this one video where he, like, lifts him out of the snake, and I was like, okay. So, it's not the boulder punching Chris. Maybe it's like... I don't know. This is a Chris that we haven't seen, but we have the idea of what he's capable of. So, Resident Evil 6 demo, check it out. I'm definitely going to buy Resident Evil 6 when it comes out the very first day now. Chris's campaign gets an A- because I wasn't scared. I was just like, just hide behind cover and shoot. I've played this game before, but definitely get Resident Evil 6 demo, and it's free, so that's awesome. So, next video, Resident Evil Damnation.